A very good morning to all our Sports Today family members. I mean, if you're still recovering from that T22 that you faced yesterday, well, you're not alone. We are still recovering from what was a roller coaster T20 match. I'm calling it a T22 because we had two super overs for the very first time in international cricket. There were lots of twists, lots of drama, lots of emotion. But at the end of the day now, we have finally reached the conclusion of the India versus Afghanistan series. And now, that was your last game before the ICC World T20. You're going to play 5 tests now against England. And after this, you're going to play 2 months of IPL. Now, prepare yourself for a roller coaster ride because in the post-match press conference that Rahul Dravid came, he had some very, very interesting thoughts about the match that happened. So, Rahul Dravid was asked the question on who are all there in the mix for the ICC World T20. When there were certain players who were asked the question, like who is he ruled out, is he there in the mix? He did not rule anybody out. And now he said that the IPL has got even more prominence because they will be looking at certain players to fill up certain slots that they need. As usual in the 2022 World T20, he had said that 80 to 90% of the squad is done. Now we are only looking at certain filler spots that we have to fill. So because of that, Rahul Dravid had some very interesting comments in the post-match press conference, which I will be bringing to you live very, very shortly. But the broad consensus is that 90% of your squad is finalized. The remainder of the slots that are there will be filled up through the IPL. And he has not ruled anybody out in making the 15-man squad. Certain players that you may be having a question about, is he in the mix, is he not in the mix? All that will be answered in the post-match press conference, which I will be doing a special explainer on. So do stay tuned for that. But yesterday, it was a redemption of sorts for this particular individual, Rohit Sharma. 2 ducks in the first 2 matches, 121 runs, and on top of that, in the super over, in the 2 overs that he played, he was simply magnificent. Hit a couple of sixes to ensure that he got India close to the line, although it took 2 super overs, by the way. His captaincy, giving that second super over to Ravi Bishnoi, was indeed very, very good, aided by the stroke of luck that is backed up by an instinct. Luck and instinct go hand in hand, and that's why Rohit Sharma had a very good moment in Bengaluru. But remember, his outburst against Mohammad Nabi and whether the fact that he could bat again in the second super over, that raised a lot of things. And that is why I'll be doing a special video on the rule which stated that Rohit Sharma, whether he could bat in the second super over or not, I'll be doing a special explainer on that. So do stay tuned for it. But the outburst that he had against Mohammad Nabi after he had taken the 2 runs was simply uncalled for. It was unsportsmanlike, borderline. Because Rahul Dravid himself pointed out in the post-match press conference as to why Rohit Sharma was wrong. You can check that video out, which I'll be doing in a short while. But remember, the outburst that he had against Mohammad Nabi, it can all be judged under passion and all those kind of things, but it was blatantly wrong. And the way how Rohit Sharma came out to bat in the second inning, in the second super over, after retiring out, was it right? There is a special rule about that as well, which I'll be giving it to you very, very shortly. But all let us take about Travis Head, who has hit yet another century on a tough wicket. Whenever there are tough wickets on offer, Travis Head steps up. Tougher situations in the game against the West Indies that we are seeing, the 3rd day's play, we are seeing Travis Head hit his 7th century, and that too a century in front of his home fans in Adelaide. The ovation was tremendous, and because of that, Australia had a 96-run lead, and before doing the morning wrap, they had already lost 2 wickets with Hazelwood taking 2, and West Indies, they'll be hoping that they can put Australia under immense pressure by posting a target in excess of 150. Apart from that, if they do not do it, then Australia are going to romp home as winners, and that's why this knock by Travis Head is truly, truly special, because once again, when the team were in a tricky situation, he rescued them. And that's why tremendous effort from Travis Head. Tough situations, clutch player. Just ask India. ICC WTC, ICC World Cup final, and now the West Indies have made to face the fury of Travis Head. This is the stadium, not the one that has been mocked on social media, that has not been the one that's been mocked by Indian and Pakistani fans on social media. This is the stadium that the Nassau Cricket County that will host the India versus Pakistan encounter. The ICC on their official handle released the statement that the 34,000 capacity Nassau Cricket County Stadium will host the India versus Pakistan match. It is going to be completed pretty shortly. And we all know that in the US, for the first time, US is co-hosting the World T20 with the West Indies. And one hopes that they can really put on an exhibition. Because remember, Nassau County will host 8 matches. One of them is India versus Pakistan. But looking at the nature of pitches, I think it is mostly going to be a drop-in or something. We hope that the contests are really, really good. Because remember, drop-in in a lottery T20I format is a lottery in itself. So that's why Nassau County, it looks good looking at it. The stands, as I said, it's a pop-up stadium. So the stands will just have to be moved, dismantled and rebuilt in such a way that does not take too much of time. But aside from the cricket, Indian cricket, which takes about an 8-day break, rest of the cricket will continue. In New Zealand, Pakistan will be there, Australia, West Indies is going to be there. But apart from the cricket, today is a massive sporting day. It's Super Thursday because the India women's hockey team is going to play Germany in the semi-final. Germany have had a better record against India in the past, and because of that, they will be really, really facing an uphill task. India take on Germany. If India beat Germany, ticket to Paris is confirmed. They are going to go into Paris without any glitches whatsoever. But if they lose to Germany, then they will have to face the loser of the USA versus Japan match for the third place playoff. If it's Japan, India start as the favorites, but if it's the US, it's a 50-50 like situation for them. Once again, if they face the US in the third place playoff, then it will be a repeat of 2019 all over again. Not just the India women's hockey team. Today in the AFC Asian Cup, you're going to see Uzbekistan take on India. And if you look at it, Uzbekistan, higher ranked, have a better record against them. And this is a must-win game for India if they have to get into the second round. Because remember, Uzbekistan also have a good record when it comes to Central Asian republics. And they have played in most major tournaments, except the World Cup to a large extent. But India, after their loss to Australia now, will be smarting. They'll be hoping to put on a better show against the Uzbeks. But remember, India have not beaten Uzbekistan for almost 30 years now. The last time they beat them was in the Nehru Cup in 1995 when Baichung Bhutia scored a goal. And in 1995, India defeated Uzbekistan 1-0. So that's why today's game is a vital clash for the Blue Tigers. One hopes that they can win and they stay in contention for the round of 16 spot. Sumit Nagal's match was expected to begin today at 9:30 am. 8 am, then it was pushed to 9:30, but because of the other match taking so much time, Nagal's match against the Chinese qualifier has been pushed back a little further. So he will be hoping to reach the third round where it will be historic in more ways than one. But remember, Nagal potentially faces a third round encounter against Carlos Alcaraz. Now that is a big situation, but for India, it will be a great feat indeed, because remember, our Indian singles challenges have really dwindled in the past decades or so. There was a time when Vijay Amritraj, Ramanathan Krishnan, Ramesh Krishnan, all of them used to reach the knockout stages on a consistent basis. For example, Ramesh Krishnan defeated Mats Wilander, who was the #1 rank in the 1989 Australian Open. That was the last time a player had progressed beyond round 1 in the singles event for the men. So that's why Sumit Nagal is staring at even more history today when he faces the Chinese qualifier in the second round today. So, action-packed other sporting events, if you had to look at it. At 7:30 p.m. IST, you're going to see the India women's hockey team take on Germany in the semi-final. At 8 p.m. IST, you're going to see the India men's team, the Blue Tigers, take on Uzbekistan. And then alongside, you also have the India Open badminton, where only, if you have to look at it, the likes of HS Pranoy and Satvik Sairaj, Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty are there. Remember, Kidambi Srikanth crashed out yesterday, and that's why India's challenge has dwindled in the India Open itself. But one hopes Satvik Sairaj, Rankireddy and Chirag Shetty continue their good run. So does HS Pranoy. I'll be back with an explainer on what is the rule that Rohit Sharma was allowed to bat in the second super over, and Rahul Dravid's press conference, which opened up a lot of interesting debates around what should be India's squad for the World T20. You don't want to miss that out. I'll be back very shortly with both those videos. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this live. We'll be back with more updates on Sports Today. Tap that bell icon so you know when we go live. And don't forget, we're on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram as well. Bye-bye.